What's going on, everybody? Back at it again with Three Man Weave. I'm with the main host CJ, and I'm your co-host ZD. I actually got the mic on today, CJ. So
You sure
you feel
do.
me? Yeah,
You
we
sure do,
we've been
brother.
talking about it a little bit, but
Oh yeah.
welcome back, you guys. We're on episode 15. Let's see. Today's a Monday. Kind of losing track of my days, but it's a good day today, man. We just finished up some really good hoops this past week. To be honest, bro, this past week. I was gonna tell you this like a little bit later, but in my opinion, like this last week has been the best week for hoops so far in the year. We were kind of talking about a little bit last time how the viewership was declining and everything, but to me, I've been watching more and more, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I've even been watching, bro, like on Sunday at 2:30. So
Oh
like I'm
yeah.
I'm locked
You're
in. You know what
locked
I
in.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, no, we just got a lot of things to talk about. Mainly NBA Cup stuff. I did want to kind of touch on like the Schroeder impact, how that's going to change the Warriors a little bit,
Mhm.
and then obviously we'll talk about the Lakers and stuff like that because they did end up winning last night.
Mhm.
And then anything else CJ wants to bring up, we'll definitely chop it up. But how you doing, CJ?
I'm
How's
doing
your day going so far?
doing great, bro. We were kind of chopping it up a little bit before, as we usually do, but no, I'm doing
Yeah,
great, having a good day. Ready to talk about some hoops, bro. A lot of
yeah, for
lot of
sure.
lot of big things coming up, especially for my
Hmm.
squad. Tomorrow we got the championship game, and uh I'm excited, bro. Like
Yeah.
I talked about it before. It's like we're actually playing for like a trophy right now, which we haven't done in a very long
Yeah.
time. So I'm excited. And
Well,
what's up, bro?
yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we already talked about it a little bit, but the Thunder finna win, bro. Like, I think they kind of already, like you're saying, they're playing for a trophy right now, but they've already been in the playoffs. They kind of already
Yeah,
used
yeah,
to that. Obviously, the Bucks are too. I mean, honest, but I think it'll be a battle for sure. So we'll see.
yeah, yeah. I guess did you want to talk about? I guess that would have
LA.
been, yeah, L.A.
Yeah,
Let's talk
yeah,
about
man.
it.
Bro, I mean, let's see. I mean, honestly, I was watching pretty much the entire game yesterday. We ended up playing like pretty well in the first half.
Yeah, really well, y'all.
Which, yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up? What's up?
I was
What were
just
you
about
gonna
to say,
say?
I was just gonna say, weren't y'all up by like 20, right, at one point?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were, we were. Yeah, I just want to make sure I get all my numbers right.
for
But
sure.
bro,
It,
I
y-
mean, dude,
y'all were up. Sorry, y'all were three
no, you're good.
minutes into the third quarter, or my fault. 6:22 left in the third. Y'all were up 81-58.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. No, no, no. Like honestly, my takeaway. I had a couple notes that I was writing down, but in the first half, we if you guys don't know, the Lakers aren't like the best first half team. We're actually pretty bad in the first half, so it was interesting to see us come out with some fire yesterday on a Sunday. Which, if you guys don't know, again, the Lakers don't always play well on Sundays, so it was just because of those games that were in between the week. Like with the NBA Cup going on and stuff, the schedule was a little bit weird. But however, man, I mean, AD looked great, bro. What can you say? I mean, this dude is a problem. I mean, I wrote that down. I just said AD is a problem. Nobody can guard him. When he's on it. And to me, it was kind of funny because he was, he was chuckling with Jaren Jackson Jr. and stuff. Because it's like, bro, like I'm cooking everybody right now. Like
Yeah, yeah,
everybody, all these cats talk about how they're DPOY, whatever the case may be, bro. They can't guard Jokic, AD. Like they can't guard, some of these dudes still. So that was my first thing that I had is just AD's a problem. I think he had a 40-point double double if I'm not mistaken.
he sure did.
Um, yeah, so it was just a massive game from him, and then also LeBron. I think LBJ has been kind of banged up recently, so it was good to see him back out on the court and contribute in a high level way. Obviously, he finished with like a 20, 18, 8 and 8, I think I want to say. So obviously, he was still filling up the stat sheet, but bro, we didn't shoot that well from three. Obviously, we're not the best 3-point shooting team. However, we did guard a lot better this game as well. That's another thing I had in my notes. We started to slip up in the second half. I was kind of. I told CJ even I turned it off because I thought we were gonna blow them out. Honestly, I had to turn it back on because I was writing my notes for ATD and stuff. And like, bro, like we just, I don't know what happened to our defense in the second half, but we started giving up points. But we looked very good yesterday overall. I would say. What's up? What's
Sorry,
up? Nah.
I remember watching it. They're like benching and they were making a run and they had them in for
Yeah,
a
no, no, no.
bit.
I was gonna talk about that too. Our
Y-
bench played a lot better as well.
Yeah,
That is one thing that we've been struggling with is we don't have super high quality guys that are coming off the bench. So it is nice to see whenever our bench starts playing well and as a unit, what we can be as a team. I think that's another thing I had in my notes, CJ. It's funny you bring that up. I said when our bench plays well, I'm looking at it right now. Imagine what the Lakers could be.
Mhm.
So kind of alluding to your point, I think that was kind of another main takeaway that I wasn't actually thinking about like too deeply when I was watching it, but kind of reflecting back on it. If our bench unit can figure it out this season, I think our team will be a lot better because we've talked about it at length on this show. But LeBron and AD are LeBron and AD, and if AD's on, bro, I truly believe the Lakers are a top five team in the West, like no doubt. If AD plays like this, but that's the thing, right? He can't always do that, and that's why our bench is really, really important. So, yeah, no, CJ, you bring up some great points with that. But overall, bro, I rated them out of 10. I think it was like a 7. The last couple games we've been playing at like a 3 or a 4. So it was good to see our improvement in that regard. And I think JJ, the last note that I had, JJ just looked like he was coaching with a lot more energy. He wasn't taking any more BS. He was playing every guy. That's another reason why I felt like our bench did well yesterday is because they were getting opportunities. JJ is he's been a little bit, in my opinion, kind of, what's the word, uh like timid, you could say, because he doesn't want to step on LBJ's shoes and AD's, and I get that, right? Obviously, coming in as being a new coach, I mean, we don't understand. We're not NBA coaches, however, but we can understand the process of coming into something new and trying to make things work. It can be hard, but yesterday he kind of showed me another side of him where like no, he's gonna lean into our bench and our younger guys, and even honestly, like, I'm not gonna lie, not it wasn't like super crazy, nobody like went off for 20 off of our bench. It was mainly just every guy had 6 7 points, and that's kind of what CJ was talking about. It was more of like a unit, like it wasn't like Cam Reddish dropped 30 or anything. It was very consistent across the board, and that's all we need. That's all we need to beat a pretty good Grizzlies team. I would say the Grizzlies are a quality team.
Yeah.
Their record does speak for itself right now. They're 18-9. Like clearly they win a lot more than they lose. So I would say that this is one of our better wins this year. But again, we're talking about the Grizzlies, and I'm saying this is one of our better wins this year, right? Like if you remember earlier in the year, CJ, we had beat the Suns, and this was like one of the first. I think it was the first game, bro. Not
Mhm.
gonna lie, it was the first game of the year. We looked great, but like ever since then, we've just kind of fallen off a cliff. I don't know why.
Mhm.
Um, but it's not like anybody's been hurt or anything. It's just we're just going through growing pains.
Yeah.
So, no, yeah, those are kind of like my 3 or 4 main takeaways for that game. But overall, bro, I'm excited for where the Lakers can go. I think, like I was saying a couple minutes ago, if our bench can figure it out, we're gonna get a lot better for
Yeah.
sure.
Do y'all think y'all
100%.
are like a solidified like playoff team if y'all
Playoff team, yeah, I do, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna see the Lakers in the play-in or the playoffs. We're gonna play in a playoff atmosphere. No way LeBron and JJ don't get there. I think they're having similar conversations that we're having. But again, at the end of the day, that leads me to like my next point is like, what are we really playing for, right? Because like you're saying, like we want to win the finals, and I don't think the Lakers are going to win the finals. However, I do think they're going to the playoffs, so that keeps the GM and all the fans happy. So people think things are actually going well, when in reality, things are starting to really kind of change. Like LeBron's going to be on his way out. Same with AD. We're going to have to really lean into our younger guys. So it does pose an interesting like future question, but I do think they're like a pretty, I think they'll be there. You know what I'm saying? Pretty confidently, and like they show that they can beat these quality teams. Where again, I think we're a good matchup for the Mavericks, like those types. Like as long as we can guard a little bit, bro, I feel like we can beat any team in the NBA. So yeah, I'm strong yes on that actually. I think we will. Like I said, we'll probably be 500, but we're gonna be in the mix of the play-in or the bottom like 7 8.
Yeah. And then like we always say, bro, like y'all are a bad matchup for a lot of teams right now. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
y'all might not be doing good right now, but y'all could start going on a heater towards the end of the season when it kind of, not saying all these games don't
Yeah.
matter because they matter, but like, towards like, if you started off slow as a team and you're able to kind of figure things out towards the middle and the end of the season, that's kind of all that really matters going into the playoffs.
Right.
Everything's clicking the right
Exactly.
way. Y'all's bench players are playing like how, like you said,
They're supposed to.
yeah, they might not be dropping 20, 30 points a game, but they can contribute in winning basketball. So
Yeah, I think we have to get our our 3-point shooting just
yeah,
really we
yeah, that
have to
is.
figure that out. It kills me watching them just jack up threes and not hit them. I mean, AD, he shot 4 of them yesterday, and I remember he shot one, he made one. I was like, okay, but sometimes it's just like, bro, just go eat, just go to the bucket, do what you know how to do. I think the NBA in general is just kind of leaning into 3-point shooting. But the Lakers do need to improve on that realm as well. But we don't need to make a soap opera out of this. You kind of already know the story. It's mainly for our audience. Like, I think they've been kind of on a seesaw as of late. They look great one night and then they look horrible the other night. They lose to the Blazers and the Jet, like all these horrible teams. But at the end of the day, I still think they'll be in the mix, like CJ was saying. And if our bench can figure it out, I think we'll be okay. But yeah, man, I think I'm disappointed they're not in the NBA Cup though, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
no,
last year.
yeah, bro. Like that. I think like I was telling you, I'm super excited. Oh, kind of going into the Rockets game because we recorded that night that they played, and
Yeah,
we haven't been able to talk about it, but. Great
yeah,
game. I watched the whole thing. Zach and Zay were with me the whole time, so you know how that is. Like, just kind of
yeah,
locked
yeah,
in,
yeah.
watching the game, chopping it up with the boys and stuff. And bro,
For
like
Showski.
that whole first half, bro, it just all specifically for us. It looked like the two best defenses in the league going against each other.
Yes,
Like people
yes.
turning the ball over. We were all in the passing
Not
lane,
shooting
not
well.
shooting
Yeah,
well. Contested shots, missing layups. Like it was crazy. So shout out to that because I feel like you were saying, and you said it before. You said it on Saturday. You said that this is a marquee matchup of the league, and they were kind of
yeah. Like,
disrespecting them because
yeah, bro. Yeah,
these young players that are willing to go out there,
yeah.
hustle, play hard. It's exactly what we got. So, but kind of my takeaways. Shea didn't have the best game, but the thing about Shea is that he scores those buckets when it matters the most. And he's
Right.
reliable. I mean, obviously we know that, and I feel like a lot of people are starting to figure that out
Yeah.
now. But he is
What
clearly
is he?
that guy. You know what I mean?
Top 5 in fourth quarter scoring. Yeah.
Easily. So,
Yeah.
and then another one is just kind of J Dub, bro. Another guy who, you know what I mean? He shot decent. He was 8 for 20, but it's when he scores those buckets, and like he was doing a lot of the scoring for us in that first half because Shea wasn't getting it going, and he was just hitting like, he never ceases to amaze me how like good he is off the dribble. Like he's like
Mm-mm.
Tari Eason, we gave him high
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
praise. Even Amen, you know what I mean? Like they were both guarding him, and he was
He
able
had a
to
good game.
shoot. Dude, he had a great game. I'll get into him.
Hmm.
Yeah. But J Dub just like his ability to shot create is just what is keeping me like so happy for
Yeah,
that we got him,
it's at
bro.
an all-star level.
Exactly.
Like
And
it's so deflating watching Shay do it, but when you add J Dub, it's even. I remember I was turning to my girlfriend. I'm like, oh gosh, because I know Ime's like, oh
it,
god.
and
Like
it
it's one thing for Shay to do it, but
Yeah. And it
yeah,
like I said, it's timely buckets. And I feel like that's
yeah,
something a lot of people
yeah,
don't like probably think of, but like they're big shots, you know what I mean? They're like
massive, yeah, like huge threes, yeah,
threes,
yeah,
fadeaways, you know what I mean? Like mid
hmm,
ranges and stuff like that. So
yeah, bro,
and
yeah,
and then and then what more can I say about Hartenstein, bro?
yeah, yeah.
Such a great pickup for us. I mean, I've been talking about it all season. He's exactly what we needed.
He was
He's
locking Shengun.
locking up Shengun. Shengun didn't have a good game, and like
No, he
you were
didn't,
saying, the person that surprised me was Amen Thompson. Man, he scored 19 points.
bro. Get into a bucket. Like he's the real deal.
Yeah, he's
You know
cold.
what I'm saying? Like he's the real deal for sure.
Yeah, he came off the bench and scored the game high for them. So, just super competitive game, bro. Like none really much I need to say. The score I feel like doesn't really reflect how close it was, just because
Yeah.
we kind of started to hit our shots in the second half, and I feel like
Oh yeah.
that was the
No,
only
yeah.
thing
That
that
was one
was
you had to
like
watch. Yep.
because Shea was doing what Dort had a really good game. He's been one of those players for me where
I was glad he talked about him.
He's just one of those players where I'm like, fuck, bro. If he hits his shot, there's no reason why we should be losing games. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
And he's been pretty well this season so far. Like I wouldn't say he's knocked down three, but I feel like a lot of teams are kind of like, oh shit, like we kind of got to close out on
First
him
team
now.
all defense too,
Yeah, for sure.
most likely.
But no, yeah, just happy for the boys. You already know, like, the vibe for the team has always been like an AAU team, and I feel like that is like kind of the story
Yeah.
for us right now. It's like we just like as a unit, we all have continuity. We say that we're saying that word a lot a couple of pods ago, and that's why I feel like we're so good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they kind of know their roles. They know that Shay's gonna probably score. I told you Shay was gonna score 30. I feel like everyone knows. You know what I mean?
Bro, he somehow got there.
Right.
Like you said, somehow, and
it was a free. He had 15 free throws. So, but
yeah, I mean they were fouling a lot though.
It
was a pretty physical game.
They were letting them play too. Like that.
Yeah,
first
for
half,
sure.
They were letting them go.
Yeah, bro. Like,
play physical.
Yeah, the refs did a great job.
Yeah, it was
100%. I think
that was probably one of the better games I've seen. Obviously,
all year.
Second half was a little different, but like first half, I was like, bro, like Tari Eason's hitting some knockdown threes. Like I said, timely buckets because he only had 12 points, but those 12 points were in like critical moments of the game. And man, it's just I'm like, bro, like Tari Eason had 8 points in the first quarter, but it's like open threes that he's hitting. I'm like, oh, bro, like it's gonna be a long game. So
it's gonna be a long night. Yeah, I think Fred VanVleet didn't show, right? I think, like you said, Alpi didn't show. There was a couple people who went ghost where like it would have been closer, like you're saying, if they showed up.
Mm-hmm.
But to allude to your point more, I think it's more of a conversation about the elevation of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And, I had a question for you. Do you think he's probably, is he the most clutch player in the NBA today?
Like as of right now, if we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, there's. I feel like, clutch isn't clutch like clutch points and stuff like that. Isn't that if you're down by a certain amount of points within?
Yeah, it's like how close the game is.
Right.
But I think him and Luka are the only two people in the NBA that I want, the ball in their hands if we need a game-winning bucket and 2 or 3. I think Shai could hit a 3.
Yeah, so, dude, and I feel like that's. I mean, we talked about it before too. He didn't shoot that well from the 3 this game, 2 for 6, but I feel like that is what has elevated him this season. He was already averaging 30 off of mid ranges and free throws. Now he's adding a 3-point shot. It's like teams don't know how to guard him, bro. Like he was making like all these all NBA like defense type or my fault, all defensive
guys,
defensive guys look like they're nothing. You know what I
they're
mean?
Nothing. Yeah. Just his elevation and obviously J-Dub. But yeah, they're just fourth quarter closers. The Thunder are one of the best teams in the fourth quarter. I think the Rockets were very prepared though, and I think a couple things could, if they went their way, man. Like CJ's saying, I think it would have been a lot closer. I think Ime's done a wonderful, a beyond splendid job with that team and their roster. And again, there's not like a. I mean, I would say Alperen Şengün's a superstar, but there's not really a superstar on the Rockets. Again, the Thunder have a superstar. Obviously, Lakers have superstars, but bro, the Rockets are just the Rockets. They really do play as a team, and obviously we don't want to harp on the Thunder too much, but also watching the Rockets ascend has been cool too. Watching Amen, bro, going all over the place. Obviously, he had a game high. A lot of people don't think he could score like that, but he really can, and he was still he had to take Shai, so he's getting the toughest assignment. And if he's able to give you 20, I wrote down in my notes, I really wonder what the Rockets are going to be like soon, man. I think if they end up signing somebody, if they get a major star, because again, they're in Houston, they're in a massive market. It's not like they're playing in Charlotte or somewhere tiny, right? It's a very big market, and stars want to play there. And I just feel like the Rockets have a very bright future. I mean, the Thunder do, but the Rockets do as well.
Yeah, that he's also in. Ime is in those conversations for Coach of the Year in my eyes as well. And I remember we talked about it before. Who kind of would be yours? And I think he's got to be up there. You know what I mean? Especially with kind of where he's brought this
He's probably
team.
the favorite right now.
Yeah. Who did we say before? I don't remember, but I don't think we said Ime. I think we might have said someone from.
Somebody else.
It
It
might.
might have
Oh, it was
been
Kenny Atkinson.
yeah, Atkinson.
So
He's right there too, though,
yeah. So it's
right?
like it should be cool seeing who ends up getting that because
Yeah, like you said, you just talked about Kenny Atkinson. I mean, look at what the Cavs are doing. Not to go off on a tangent, but to not give it to him would also be asinine. It's
right.
kind of like, so
But
yeah,
no, yeah, great hoops,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Did you watch any?
Bucks, right?
Yeah, Bucks. We
Hawks.
we
We
projected that the Hawks were gonna win. They ended up losing that
during
game.
the show. Yeah.
What are your? We were kind of we were shooting during it, so I don't think we really
Yeah, yeah,
were
yeah.
able to.
We didn't really talk about it. I mean, I think I asked for your prediction. We like said we were watching it and stuff, but bro, Giannis and Dame. I mean, you have talked about it at length in previous pods, but those two guys can just drag you wherever you want to go, right?
Hmm.
Like at this point, man, it's really hard to go against Dame and Giannis in a playoff setting, right? So if we're gonna play for something that matters, again, elimination games, whatever the case may be, those guys will give you 30, right, a piece.
Hmm.
So I think the Hawks, I think DeAndre Hunter played a lovely game.
Dude.
Obviously, Trey had an amazing game,
Hmm.
but it just didn't end up working out. I think the Hawks are like one or two pieces short of really being able to contend in the East, like with the Celtics and stuff like that. Obviously, in a 7-game series, but I feel like this game was more about the Bucks, bro, and what they've been able to do. I think, we kind of underestimated like how. I mean, maybe not we, because I feel like you've been talking about it, but just me, like earlier in the year, especially just how the Bucks could turn it around. And obviously, Doc Rivers is a good coach. I'm not gonna hate on him too much, but we'll kind of see whenever we get to the playoffs, though. But AJ Green, I mean, was massive for him. He's been massive for him like the
Hitting
last
big
couple games.
shots. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, he's hitting big shots left and right. He's been contributing at a high level. I just think the role players have really stepped up. And yeah, man, the Bucks. I was gonna ask you. You think they'll be a top 4 seed in the East when this is all said and done? Because it's looking like it, man. The East is a train wreck.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we kind of like you were saying. I've been kind of, giving them the praise a little before that they actually started going on this little run. So yeah, I think they can be
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
I mean, I just don't think anybody can stop Giannis, and
I
I
agree.
I think that's
I think the Hawks. I think that's what Quinn Snyder kind of ran into is who's gonna guard him.
yeah,
I think with Dame, you can live with Dame
yeah.
shooting from 30, 35 feet. Like it's not a great shot, but for him, it's going in at 40%. So
Hmm.
it's tough. But with Giannis, man, it's like you can't. It's really hard to guard that guy. In my opinion, right now, if they continue the way that they're playing, I think he'll probably end up being like second or third in MVP voting. I think Shea could end up winning this year, bro. It could be Shea, Yoke, and then Giannis. But I mean, if you're just looking at stats, obviously Yoke. But I just think Giannis needs to be put in the top 3 because like he's been doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, yeah. He's been
Yeah,
on another level, bro. Him and Jokic, bro.
for sure. But both of those games are again games of the year. I said it earlier. I think before we were recording, but or we might have been recording, but just this past week of games has been so good. I think it's been some of the best week. Well, it's probably the best week of basketball we've had so far, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Just with the NBA Cup games and the quality of play, it's been great to watch, man. I'm definitely turning into a fan for sure.
yeah, yeah. Of course, bro. It's great
Yeah,
hoops.
gotta be. Yeah,
Um,
great hoops, man.
was there any other games that you watched yesterday?
That I watched yesterday. No, man, I was just on the Lakers, honestly. I no, I'm sorry, I'm lying. I
Dallas
watched
Golden
the
State.
Warriors and the Mavericks. Man, bro, I'm tweaking. I actually put it on the multi-view because I seen Luca was going off. Like I missed the first half, dog, but I was like, oh, I think he's going for 50. It's one of the. That's another thing I love about the NBA, man. Sorry to get sidetracked, but like if you see that when you were telling me about LaMelo's 50, I couldn't watch it, but it was the Milwaukee game.
Hmm.
But if somebody's going for 50, bro, I gotta see it. Like, I just got to turn it on, bro. So I actually ended up watching the third and the fourth quarter, and Luca didn't end up getting there, which is kind of funny. But dude, the Mavericks look so good.
Yeah,
It's funny you asked me that. I kind of forgot about that game, but Quentin Grimes, Kyrie. I think that game though.
Clay.
One thing that was kind of interesting about that game is like Just nobody was missing.
Yeah. Yeah, they
I think
broke the
both
record,
teams.
right, for three-pointers made?
I was gonna go into that. Yeah, they broke the record for the most threes made
Mhm.
between two
Two
teams.
teams, yeah.
Um, so like again, yeah, it was a special game yesterday. I felt like I had to turn. Yeah, I put it on the multi-view for sure. I remember I didn't watch the first half, but third and fourth quarter again, like the Mavs started pulling away. It was kind of interesting because it. I think the Warriors. I wrote down one of the reasons why they traded for Schroeder is like they just don't have any bench offense, right?
Hmm.
So it's hard whenever Curry goes to the bench. When Doncic goes to the bench, they have Irving, they have Grimes, they have P. Like they still have again 15 to 20 point scores that can give you 30 on any given night if they get
Hmm.
hot. So it's very it was interesting to see that dynamic and kind of how I could see why Clay went to the Mavs, bro. Like I'm not gonna I completely understand. Me and CJ both understand. Like they have they're a lot younger. They just have different pieces that are honestly like they have better weapons. Like they just have guys that can score and guard at a high level. So I think the Mavs are in a really good spot, but I think there's a reason the Warriors traded for Schroeder, and it was just to get a little bit more bench offense because they don't really have that, man. I noticed that whenever Curry went to the bench, Pods, I was gonna say I don't want to hate on him, but he just hasn't been good this year.
He hasn't
He
at
wasn't
all.
untouchable going into this year, but I don't think he's untouchable anymore because I
Mm-mm.
think his flaws kind of show whenever he's kind of running the point. He's not Steph Curry, right? He doesn't threaten it. He doesn't really threaten you from 25 feet, 30 feet out.
Mm-mm.
He's more of a drive and kick type of guy, which is there's nothing wrong with that. But in today's NBA, it's very difficult to be effective in that manner. So yeah, man, I think there's a lot of things that we've talked about the Mavericks at length, obviously, but they're coming around, and I think they're getting hot at the right time. Like they're starting to find it. I think Luka's been averaging the most steals over the last 5 games. I want to say like he's been guarding, he's been playing at a all NBA level. I think earlier this season he was kind of asleep, but he's woken up. They've woken up the beast. It's kind of scary. Um, but he had a first half triple double, bro. So he didn't really do too much in the second half. I think he was just really getting buckets. It was one of those things where I think he felt like he was gonna get 50 comfortably. They started doubling and stuff, and you know how that goes.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah.
Um, there
Did you
was
watch that one or no?
nah, bro. I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I only
I'm
watched.
lucky I got to tune into
Yeah,
that. That
I
made me happy.
I only watched the second half of the Lakers game last
I did
yesterday.
want to talk about Kai though. I think Kai will be an all-star, bro. I think it's really hard like not to put him as a reserve. Just watching him yesterday, the things that he's been able to do for Luca. I think people were hating a couple years ago. I don't think people thought it would turn out as good as it has. So that's all I'm gonna say.
I was one of those
But he's
people.
been interesting. Yeah, no, but I just think Reeves like changed his game now to where like I think a couple years ago, bro, when he played on the Celtics and again even on the Cavs, it was more about himself. But anytime I watch him now, he's playing for the team.
Mm,
Like he gets 20 within the offense, but he's not trying to get his or whatever. Like he lets other people get theirs, and I love that, man. I think he's been like a perfect partner for Lucas. So hopefully they get another dual All Star selection. Like that would be cool. I wonder, kind of the same thing with J Dub and Shea whenever they get their turn. Like I wonder how many years they can do that,
mm.
because that's kind of cool. People forget like that does not happen.
Nah, it doesn't.
Not like back to back to back to back. Like you see the same people over and over again. Like that shit don't happen,
It
bro.
doesn't, bro. Especially in the league nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to say is Kai's look great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they're heating up, man. And I feel like that's the thing with Luca. He always starts off the season a little slow, and then he ends up getting everything figured out
Yeah,
right, like before All Star
yeah,
break. You know.
kind of like in the middle. Yeah, before All Star break, and then obviously he does his thing in the playoffs. I think, like I asked you, I think him and Shea are the two players that I would want to, if in a situation we down 2 or 3, bro, 10 seconds left, like I'm giving those two cats the rock.
Facts. Got to, got to.
For sure.
So kind of going into what you had sent me on Twitter, and you brought it
Mm.
up on the pod. The Pelicans got their 22nd loss
Woo.
yesterday against the Pacers, and after that, they
Yeah,
said
let's talk
they
about
are
this.
open to trading away their veteran stars. They are resistant to trading Herb Jones, rookie Yves Messi, and Trey Murphy III.
Yeah, let me see Missy and Trey. Yeah. I mean, once again, those three players I would say are untouchable as well because they're actually young and good. Um, but like we said on the pod earlier, I think you kind of agreed with it, honestly. But I just think the Pelican, like, it's just time to blow it up, bro. And I think their GM sees that. If you guys are knowledgeable about the NBA at all, it's really about the future, right? Like, you want to think about the now, but you want to be careful doing that because I believe in the future a lot. Like, I'm one of those people who believes in that. And Bi and CJ and Zion, like, what have they gotten you, man? Like, let's keep it real, right? Like, we're all men, right? There's you know you know what I'm saying? Like, those guys are grown men playing basketball. Like, we just have to look at the facts. I know their GM sees it, and they can get max value for those players right now. Like I said, again, like, it makes sense because again, when CJ's out there hooping, BI's out there hooping, and obviously Zion's not hooping, but there's definitely teams that will want to take a chance on him and what like his talent brings to the table. Because again, I think Zion, when healthy, is an All NBA type player, and in my opinion, that is the one player I do have a little bit of my doubts if the Pelicans let walk. That could end up backfiring for them, in my opinion. I feel like a team will get him for a bag of chips, but he's still Zion Williamson, right? So God forbid he gets healthy and figures something out. But the my main takeaways from this is I think that the Pelicans are really just seeing the future and kind of what they need to do, and they've been losing so many games, CJ, to the point where their next couple draft. And another thing I want to say is the Pelicans have been smart with the picks. Um, they're actually properly managed team overhead, even if their teams aren't super good, like product wise on the floor. So they do have their picks, they have their draft capital. They need to invest in this year's draft, next year's draft, the year after that draft. Like, it can't be something where you're trying to win the finals, right? Because that's not realistic. And I think that's kind of that's my only gripe about the Lakers is sometimes it just seems like we're living in fairyland. And as grown men, like, that's just not, like, this isn't a movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, CJ? Like,
Right.
they're getting paid millions of dollars. Like, if you're not going to the NBA finals, this is why we play. Like, let's figure out something, an alternative to figure out how to get there. Like, let's stop living in Candyland.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Yeah, it's just, I think the Pelicans are doing by the way, I agree with their decision to look for options for these three players, even though Zion's my one kind of gripe about. Because again, like, they have realistic expectations. And you can get first round picks for these guys or players for these guys. It's not like they're worth a bag of chips. Like, you can get more. You can get burgers and fries with it. So,
what do you
yeah,
think
that was
is sorry. What do you think is
no,
like
you're
the
good.
ideal situation for them? Like, they trade away these people, are they just getting draft
That's
capital,
a
or are
good
they getting
question. Um,
decent role players that can kind of, bridge
well, I'll
the
go
gap?
like teams, honestly, too, because you have to. We can even discuss the apron a little bit. Like, a lot of these players have pretty big contracts, so a lot of these teams or a lot of these deals will be three-team deals just because you can't take back more money than you're giving out, stuff like that. Not necessarily with the Pelicans, but with another team that wants to take on a Zion contract or a Bi contract, whatever the case may be. But that's a tough question. I feel like it would be future draft capital. That would be my ideal ask. There's not really a player in the NBA that you can, like, a superstar player that you can really get for Zion, Bi, or CJ. Maybe all three of those guys as like a package. You could get, two pretty good players, but if you're just trading one up for one up, like, I think you're gonna have to go lean towards the draft capital side. Um, Probably if you're gonna go player, like, I would say Zion because he has the fattest contract. Um, so it'd be a lot easier for the money to work out if you're gonna trade him one for one or one, him one for another player and then a couple picks. But ultimately, I think that the Pelicans would agree with me on this. Is like they need to be focused on acquiring picks because picks allow you to also get players as well, right? Sometimes when you get a player, that player doesn't work out, value's gone. But with a pick, there's always going to be that value. And I think that's why obviously draft picks are so valuable is because their value doesn't change. Like, in the future, people are still thinking it's going to be good. Even if it doesn't turn out to be good, we don't know that it won't be good as opposed to a player who's playing today, right? That we can see, like, we know that this player is not doing so well, right? So in my opinion, I think they should aim for draft capital for sure.
Okay, and just kind of put their eyes onto the future.
Right. And like I was
developing
saying,
the
like
young
that.
players that they have. So
Yes, bro, and they have a good development team.
yeah,
Like it's not like Zion's bad or Tramer. Like those guys have been there all like they're good players and they have good coaches there. I just think Willie Green has been dealt some pretty shit cards in terms of. Well, actually, I'm not gonna lie. They did choke last year, right?
yeah,
They've had a couple moments where they've looked like, oh my goodness, like how did the Pelicans even get here? Like they're
hmm
playing super well, and then they get to a moment where it's like time to really prove it, and they just don't show. And I think Willie Green's job is at stake. I think there's a lot of things that are going to be at stake because things need to change if we're going to win. And clearly the core that they had wasn't winning, and that's okay. But even with the Lakers, for example, like we still have a championship out of that. So if you win, you never have to apologize. But with the Pelicans, they haven't been winning. So I think it is time to switch up, do something new and kind of lean into your younger guys, and that seems to be what they're doing.
oh yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Um, so just was there anything else that you were wanting to talk about?
Um, Not really, not particularly, no. Let's see, man. I think it'll be interesting to kind of see what these games coming up as like Monday. Just because like these some of these NBA teams, bro, just haven't been playing a ton. I think Kevin Durant came back as well. So he's back on the Suns. I was gonna ask you one thing about KD is like, bro, he's got to be an all-star, right?
100%.
Yeah, like there
Hundred
ain't.
percent.
I don't even think he's missed like that many games,
No,
but
I don't. Let me check. But if he has, it doesn't feel like it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he's.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
And I saw that the
Um,
record with him on the court is like 12-2 or something like that.
they're
Like
so good. The Suns are so good with him on the court.
so, let me look. KD has played 15 games.
I think Hallie's looked a lot better.
Hallie has
We
looked a
haven't
lot
talked about
better.
him. We can talk about him for a couple minutes
Yeah, go
if you
for it.
want. But I watched. I didn't watch, but I pulled it up on the NBA the highlights, and then I had my shot creator because I saw that he dropped. So I was just looking at his chart. It's pretty cool because we were talking shit about him, right? And then he
Yeah.
goes and does the 20. But yeah, you can look at it. It was pretty cool. But he had a if you guys don't know, Tyrese has been kind of struggling this year. The Pacers just have been struggling this year in general. They were kind of the darling of last year, right?
hmm
In my opinion, they're kind of like they remind me of the Hawks from this year, kind of, or the, like Rockets, whatever. But just a darling of the NBA, kind of like, oh, this is the next team up. Tyrese is going to be, and this year they just haven't been that good. They've slowed down their pace, which I think has hurt their offense a lot. But this last game, Tyrese looked really good, of course, against the Pelicans, which is, honestly, with DeJounte out there, I think it does say something. Like he's a pretty good defender, but yeah, Tyrese hooping is a recipe for the Pacers' success. I think Benedict Mathurin was really coming along early this year. He's kind of cooled down a lot since then, and I just don't think Siakam's actually turned out to be what they thought he was going to be. And what's funny about that trade is I don't really know why they did it. He's an aging veteran. He was kind of on the last year of his deal, so they had to sign him to a max, and they did. And he's already won, fine. Like what does he really have to play for? He wasn't getting younger. It's not like a young Tyrese Halliburton. Even that contract looks kind of crazy, but I think the pairing between Siakam and Hallie is kind of, stuck in the mud. But last game they looked great, bro. I think Halliburton, if he can turn it around, the Pacers kind of the sky's the limit in my opinion because he's kind of the engine to their offense, and wherever he goes, they go. So as long as he's healthy and playing at a pretty high level, and I'm sure he hears the talk, man. Like he's a gangster, bro. He's another stand up guy. Like I know he's a real deal hooper, so I know he hears people talking shit. So if you a hooper, that'll definitely wake you up. And I think Rick Carlisle's done a splendid job, like trying to figure out, okay, like what can I do whenever Tyrese Halliburton's been struggling. I was gonna bring up something that I didn't have in my notes, but I just thought about while I'm rambling. He looks to me like he's trying to figure out a way to do better when Tyrese is struggling, which I think could help them in the long run. Because it is one thing that they really struggled with last year is whenever he went cold, their team is gone. And I think that's kind of why they lost and they weren't able to beat the Celtics in that series. I think once again, if they had a bench unit that was really not TJ McConnell, an entire bench unit that was playing together, Benedict Mathurin, TJ, right? Like all these guys playing together at a high level, I think they could have took the Celtics deep, bro. I
Mm.
think the Pacers are kind of a matchup nightmare for them. And I think they will continue to be for the next few years if they have the same roster. So, yeah, CJ, I think if they can turn it around, bro, like, again, the East is such a mess, bro. Don't count out the Pacers. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They're 12 and 15. They're only 3 games under 500. Their schedule's getting easier. And if Reese starts hooping, like I'm saying, bro, this sky's the limit for them. I know you agree with that, but
Yeah. I was about
got
to
to shout
say,
out the Pacers.
I feel like I was so critical of him earlier in the year, and he's kind of slowly getting back to. Now, I wouldn't say what he was last year, but kind of getting a little more in
Uh,
form and stuff. But
yeah.
I think going back to what you were saying, like you don't think that Pascal trade is that good. I just think it just sucks for the smaller market teams because realistically, I think that was probably the best thing that they could have done. You know what I mean? Kind of
I agree in the
invest
moment,
in the
right?
moment. They saw how good of a season Hallie was having. It's like, oh well, let's pair him with another player, NBA champion, all-star type player. You know what I
Caliber,
mean?
yeah, no.
So
He's been pretty good this year. He hasn't been horrible. It's just like you're saying though. It's like I think they were kind of handcuffed into doing that a little bit, and the decision could have been a bit rushed. All of this, honestly, CJ, Tyrese Halliburton's career seems just so rushed. The Kings say no, like they just trade him. Okay, no, you bail on him, fine, whatever. In my opinion, that was stupid. I'm from Sacramento, so Sacktown stand up. That's stupid. I don't know why you trade somebody like of course they have Sabonis now, but just to bail on him that early, I think kind of hurt his confidence. He goes to Indiana, he starts balling out, right? Obviously, he gets that massive contract, but as soon as he starts faltering, it's like, oh, well, what's happened to Tyree? Like it's just his entire career seems rushed. So I feel bad for him sometimes. I think people forget about that, like how that kind of went down with Sabonis and everything, and how he even ended up in Indiana. I didn't even think he wanted to really be there, to be honest, at first. And I think he's kind of grown to love it. But that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, I think a lot of this has been rushed. Even sometimes when we're on the pod and we're talking in the moment, sometimes even the things I can say, like it's just how I feel, it's my emotions, it's rushed. And
right.
that's kind of what I mean by that. It's like, when you have time to reflect and you actually think like game by game and kind of what CJ's saying, like, as the season continues to grow, you can look back at your decisions, right? Signing Siakam and look and be like, okay, was this a good, like having time to reflect, right? It's not just going to happen now. And I think we live in the now so often, bro, it can get tough. So yeah, bro, I just wanted to allude to that as well. Sometimes I feel like everything's rushed with him and I kind of feel bad.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Like, yeah, I didn't really think about it in that perspective, but yeah, no, for sure, because he went from being like not even
Sucks, bro.
yeah, not playing in Sacramento, trading him, and then becoming the star of a team, and we're building a team around
Yeah,
him.
like
So
that.
just like
Yeah,
that.
bro. It's just tough. I
So,
feel for him a little bit.
but they're definitely one of
Yeah.
those teams, like you said. They could be a matchup nightmare for a lot of
Yeah.
the teams in the East, especially if
And,
their
CJ,
offense is
God,
clicking.
God forbid they figure it out in a year or 2 years. Like he's not done, bro. And that's
No,
kind of
he's
what I
just getting
mean by the
started.
rush. It's hard because it's just like, of course, this year we got to talk about it. But I have faith in Tyrese, bro. I know you do too. So
Yeah,
I'm glad we're talking about it because I still think he's an all-star, bro. Just not this year.
facts.
But I think he will be in the future.
For sure. And then I didn't watch this game. It was the Knicks
Mm.
versus Magic.
Ooh, big bodega. Yeah, bro. I saw that on Shot Creator too because I saw he had a 2020 game, bro.
2020.
Oh,
Brunson at 31.
yeah, bro. I want to talk about Cat a little. I just think that's awesome, bro. He's a lot better than I ever imagined he could be.
Yeah.
And all it took was a little bit of a system switch. And I've hated on Cat a lot. Like honestly, my entire life, I did not like the way he used to play.
Really?
Yeah,
Why
no,
is
yeah,
that?
I thought he was kind of soft.
Okay, got you.
He's not soft though.
He's not.
You can't play in New York if you're soft.
Right.
Can't play. I
Yeah.
promise you, they'll boo you off the court, bro.
Yeah.
Like you literally can't be soft if you play in New York. So
So
I think he's kind of.
did
This was some years ago though too. Like I've grown into understanding. Okay,
right. Did you expect Cat to have the season he's having right now with the Knicks?
No, No, I think we both had him starting, right? And he
Right.
will start.
He's gonna start for
Uh
sure.
yeah, like he's been so efficient, bro, and he looks happier too, which it's sad to say that, which is like I didn't even know that was like possible, but compared to the Timberwolves version, what we've seen so far with the Knicks in a small sample size, even though like this is who he is most likely on the Knicks, like just the joy that he's been playing with and the freeness, being able to play how he wants. They really do play through him. I think Brunson's made a lot of sacrifices as well. That no offense to Anthony Edwards, he's just not gonna make. I mean, he's rising, he's ascending, he's a little bit younger than Brunson. He's just not willing to make those sacrifices, which I understand, but Brunson's been. I think Brunson. It kind of speaks about Brunson too. Like he doesn't drop 30 because he's giving it to Cat. He's making sure Cat gets involved. But no, I don't think a lot of people were expecting this from him. Were you?
No, not this efficient. At least I kind of
Right.
expected him to probably
I
score
mean the
like
efficiency.
20.
Sorry, like not the counting stats.
Right.
Obviously, we know he can get 20, but like just the way he's doing it, and like you're
Right.
saying, like he is such a. The Magic are so tough defensively, one of the better teams in the NBA defensively. Like, but he stretches their defense out another 10 feet, right?
Hmm.
Like it's not. He doesn't just play in the paint, so he brings Mo way out there. Mo
Hmm.
can't guard on the three,
Nope.
So I think it also shows you the Magic's issues too. Like they struggle to guard bigs who can shoot. So again,
Hmm.
like if when they do play the Nuggets, like I think they play them once this year or twice, but like Jokic is gonna cook, right? Because Goga can't, they can't really guard on the perimeter, but Cat is more perimeter oriented. But yeah, the Knicks look good, man. I think they got a little unlucky losing to the Hawks. Obviously, I wanted them to pull through, but they're right there as well, man. They're not too far behind, and I think they'll be able to compete with the Celtics.
Yeah. Yeah. The way that they've
Yeah,
been playing this season for sure.
and their matchups just say so. I think again, they're not the best defensively, but if their offense is on, woo,
Which is crazy because Thibs is such a defensive minded coach as well. So it's like I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
he's not switching his coaching style, but just kind of seeing the players he has, especially Cat. Cat's arguably one of the best 3-point shooter centers of all time. So it's like you
Yeah.
kind of
I
gotta
mean, I'd say
adjust
he's
it.
top three.
Yeah, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I would definitely want to bring that up. Shout out to Cat going crazy. I did have another question for you, sir. If you didn't have anything else
Oh
to,
yeah.
so
Shoot away.
obviously, I don't know how to say his last name, but AJ, uh,
Oh yeah.
he
Yeah,
he's
yeah. AJ Dybansta.
Dybansta. So obviously he just signed with BYU. Supposedly his NIL contract is worth 7 mil. We don't know the numbers yet, right? I think that's kind of what people were
Mm-mm.
saying. It's around that price point. But just kind of a question I wanted to bring up to you, sir. If you were a college recruit, would you go wherever the money is at, or would you rather go to a program where you know that they can develop you into NBA talent?
Great question. If I know I'm NBA ready, I'm going with the second option, right? I want to go somewhere where I know I'm gonna be developed and continue to develop to get to that point because the money's coming anyway. I think with AJ, shout out AJ, but like if you were to talk to him, bro, like he already, he's gonna get the Nike, any shoe deal he want, like all that money, bro. The money ain't nothing. I think it's really just if you really want to get better at basketball, you will go somewhere where you want to develop. Cam always talks about the transfer portal kind of with football, right? It's like these kids aren't getting an opportunity to really develop with these coaches and really try to build their skills. And for me, that's the first thing I'm focused on whenever I'm trying to get to that next level is like, okay, what are the skills I need to learn to be able to be great at this next level? Because obviously I'm not there yet. Let me take my time. Let me use this time, right, to be able to get better and really improve. So definitely the second option. I think if you're going for the money, it's got to be because again, like your situation, right, or you need to take care of something, like whatever the case may be. And I understand that too. That more props to you, brother. Go get your bread, right? There
Right.
ain't nothing wrong with that either. Taking care of your family, make sure you do that. But I'm just saying, if you can kind of see where you're headed, then there's no reason to short sight yourself, right? Like if you know you're gonna be getting to it, especially with how the NIL is structured now, like they could sign a shoe deal tomorrow, right? And they're gonna get paid those M's. So I think the money thing has fucked up college a lot, but also made it better because it just kind of sways, you know, a kid's brain like, okay, I'm gonna just go here because the money. But then with other kids, it's like, okay, let me use this money for good. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me try to improve. Let me get better. Let me go to a school where I know, okay, these coaches I respect. I know they're gonna try to work on my game and get me better. But I'm also gonna have opportunities in NIL. So it all boils down to that. But yeah, no, I hope AJ does well, bro. I mean, BYU's kind of an interesting choice for him. Um,
I don't know their whole like coaching staff and stuff, but I've been hearing like other podcasts talking about them, and I suppose they have like really good like coaching staff. Like they
yeah,
have
no, so they do have a great staff, a great developmental staff, but that's it.
yeah,
Like I think he kind of like BYU's a great basketball school, but like they're not a dude. Like they're still
they're not a
not
blue blood.
right. I think AJ, obviously we're not going to speak for him, but it seems to me like he just kind of wants to be the guy while also having that developmental stuff. So I understand that.
Cool, cool, yeah, interesting. I just wanted to see because I feel like you said, the NIL is a great thing, especially for these kids putting their body on the line, being able to get millions before they even get to the league. But I feel like it kind of
Good and
also,
bad. I said good and bad.
yeah, yeah. If it kind of like if you were in it just for the money, do you even want to go to the league? I feel like there's some kids that
Right,
are
right. Well, that's the thing, right? Like some people are just there for that bread and like they have their own reasons for that. Like you're saying, like it's like, do you even want to go to the league if you're already getting that type of money? Because you could just,
yeah,
invest, do whatever you want to do. So I think it gives kids options. That's never a bad thing. But I think it also, unfortunately, money is a man-made construct. So that's all fake, bro. Like that
mm,
still creates different things in your brain that wouldn't otherwise be natural. So to
yeah,
me, that's still pretty suspect.
got you. So let me ask you this then, sir. If you were a 5-star
Mm,
recruit coming into like college this upcoming season, like who would you sign
yeah.
with?
That's a great question. Let's see.
You could go anywhere. You're a 5-star
Anywhere,
guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like, dude, yeah, yeah, yeah. If I had like any school, bro, I'm finna go to Villanova.
Villanova.
Yes, bro. Just Jay Wright. I just think the history they have there, and bro, look at the NBA, fam. Look at Brunson. Look at like
Those
just
Nova
look
boys.
at yes, bro. Them Nova boys, but even deeper than that, right? Like even players that played before those guys. Like there's plenty of NBA players that came through Villanova and have been high level players, and I just feel like their coaches, would develop me at the fastest possible rate, and I feel like they would trust and believe that I could, take them all the way to the national championship and then go to the NBA. And yeah, if they heard me say it just like that, shit, if they're interested in me, I think that we could, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I believe in Jay Wright, and I don't know him, but I know me and him would have high level basketball conversations. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with that.
Hell yeah, bro.
What about you though?
See, I've been thinking
I want it
about this, because if I'm like,
for sure.
I don't know, I
I
always
had to take a moment, bro. I had to take a moment. I was like, I'm not finna just say Duke, bro. I got to think
right.
about this.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like if I was at that level, I would try to go to a team where they like don't have like they might have won a championship
Oh, they're
before,
like not good. I
but they're
like that.
but
I
they're not
like
that
that.
good. Probably
They're
like
like not as good.
maybe
Okay,
like
yeah,
I don't know, like a
that's cool.
UNLV or something, bro. Just because that's
That's
where I'm
cool.
from. You know what I mean? They were
Yeah,
good at
bro.
one point, and they haven't really been good since.
Been
So
good before, but they're not that good. Yeah,
yeah, like they
yeah.
were good in the was it the '90s?
Dude, their campus is amazing.
Yeah,
Anytime I go to Las Vegas, I always see their basketball gym, and I'm always thinking about
Thomas
all
and
the
Mack
players that
Center,
have gone.
brother.
Yes, dude. I always think about like Grandmama and Christian Wood, and obviously like Derrick Jones Jr. too. That's another one people
Yeah,
don't know. But coming through those gyms, like there's so many people that have hooped there that I'm just like, oh, like this is
yeah.
so dope.
Yeah, but like obviously the goal is to get to the league, so it's kind of like if you're
Yeah,
already
of
if you're
course,
already
of
a
course.
5-star player, more than not saying you're automatically gonna be in the league, but like if you're gonna do what you are expected to be doing, there's no like you could go to any school and get looked at. I
Right.
think that's the beauty of basketball. Not saying
Hmm.
that doesn't happen in football because it definitely does, but I feel like those are the ones that kind of go in like later rounds, and that is the thing that kind of sucks about the NBA. There's only 2 rounds, so the
Yeah, yeah,
opportunity for
yeah.
you get into that next level is even smaller
It's
than
very
this.
it's
Yeah,
tinier,
yeah.
right?
So probably like that though, because I've always liked the kind of like going to a school that may not have a lot of winning culture within the past 10, 20 years, but
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm confident in my abilities, I can lead this team to more success probably than what we've
Yeah, to the
seen in the
promised land for
exactly.
sure. It kind of reminds me of like a Murray, with Jaw, right? Like
Yeah,
anytime I see his college, I always get excited because I know people from Murray State. They're like, "Yo, like you're
yeah,
saying, like it's not a Duke or anything. Like people don't even know who that school is to this day. So
right,
like I know people are like, "Yo, like that's hard," because like
yeah,
you're saying, you can still make it out from any
right,
school, bro,
yeah.
for
They
sure.
just need to get that
I love that
opportunity,
answer. UNLV is a great school too.
dude.
I know
It's such
they have
they have a really
yeah,
good basketball culture because I would go to a
for
lot of games
sure.
when I was younger, and it'd be like a random game against Air Force, and
Really?
that
I
place
didn't know
be
that. That's
yeah,
cool.
bro. Like I used to go to a lot
That's
because
cool.
obviously I grew up there and I moved here when I was like 12, but my dad would always take me to Thomas
That's
and
so
Mack
cool.
Center,
I didn't know
bro.
that.
Yeah, and we were getting.
That's sick.
I mean, their college games and they weren't that good at the time, so we were able to get pretty close, like kind of like
Yeah, no, but bro. I passed anytime I get out. I remember the Uber it's by the airport, like
yep,
driving out.
yep.
I'm like, dude, this is where they play, like this right here. So I
And it
love that
has
you've
like
been there for.
obviously it's not as big as an NBA arena or anything, but it
No,
has
of
like
course
that
not.
type of vibe,
That vibe, yeah.
the way it
We'll have to go
looks.
one day, man. I've always wanted to see inside of it. Never
Really?
have,
Yeah,
but
bro.
I've always seen the building. I always tell like my girl, I'm always like, dude, I want to go in there because I know a lot of people been in there, bro.
Gotta go to a summer league.
For sure, that's what. Yeah, for sure. I would love to do that. That would be super dope. We could, get our gambling on a little bit.
Hey, 3-man weave in Vegas next year. Just wait on
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir. Bring the mics and everything. We'll be
Facts.
locked in.
Yeah, maybe that was kind of all I had, bro. Was there
Yeah, bro. For sure.
anything
Me
else you
too.
wanted to talk about?
Nah, man. I think no games Wednesday. So whenever we chop it up, there won't be any games. This Saturday, I think we got the cup, right?
Yep. Or no.
So
Oh yes, sorry, yes.
yeah, it or
Or
nah,
no, is it on
nah.
Tuesday?
It's on Tuesday, I think.
So they have a. Are they
Yeah,
play?
they have Tuesday. They have the Tuesday slate open. It's just the
Okay,
cup game tomorrow.
got you.
Um,
And
yeah,
then
7:30.
got you.
Dang,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
it should be a good game. I'm excited for that one.
All
But
right, yeah, no, me too, man.
yeah, man. If y'all
Who
liked
you
and
think's winning that? The Thunder, right?
of course, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. That's gonna be. I feel like
I'm
that's
gonna
gonna
go with the
be
Bucks, bro. I'm gonna go with the Bucks just
just cause
for sure.
I think it's
Got to.
that's definitely gonna be a great game. Can't wait to watch it. All the boys are gonna be over here. We're gonna have like a little end of the year like content shoot day with all OP. So all the boys are gonna be
And
here, and we'll be here. I'll be locked in, bro.
yeah,
Don't you
I
worry
got I
about
got
that.
meetings. I'm gonna be on the phone while I'm gonna just
While it's
have it
on.
on the TV though.
Yeah. Gonna be locked
Yeah,
in, bro. But yeah, Thunder up all the way, man. Come on now.
for sure, for sure. Lake Show always. So, yeah, that was it for me though.
Yep, bet. Well, if y'all liked and enjoyed this episode of 3-Man Weed, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Go watch us or go
Show.
listen to us on all streaming platforms. And we'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.
Peace,
Thunder
peace.
up, baby.
Three
3-man,
man,
3-man,
Lake
3-man.
Show.
Yes, sir.